Hey up, how's it going? Welcome to Rads. This is the transfer roundup. It is every single week, so stay tuned by liking and subscribing, so I did there. If you do like channels that say that Malmö is the capital of Sweden, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Yeah, I like geography. I literally like geography. Confirmed deals, first and foremost, Anthony Elanga joined Forest last week. Played twice already, and it feels like he signed a long while ago as a result of that. 15 million, the final fee. I'm excited for it. I think it's a good bit of business. Blends in well, looks very, very pleased to be at the club. I think it's just a fresh start for him more than anything. So, yeah, hopefully this one works out. Another confirmed deal in the opposite direction, leaving the club to Nashville in the MLS, is Sam Surridge. Brilliant servant. Excellent servant to the club. I'm really happy to see him get somewhere. 5 million though is an amazing fee for Forest to get for expert bench warmer last season. But more than anything, he was just fantastic in the Championship. So yeah, I didn't think he'd ever go to the MLS, but he should do very well over there. On to rumours and Alexis Sanchez. Come on, that's not realistic, is it? There's not a chance. Surely he doesn't come to this football club. You're telling me, right? You're telling me in 3 seasons we've gone from Anthony Knockaert, a washed up Anthony Knockaert, not the prime Anthony Knockaert. I couldn't stand Anthony Knockaert. I said Anthony Knockaert about 5 times there. I think that's pretty impressive. We've gone from him to Alexis Sanchez. What? Even to be linked with him is mental. Let's talk about realistic rumours, and a rumour that's been going around for feels like a few years at this stage. Dean Henderson. Finally, he still hasn't signed for the club. We're going to get there though eventually. We're going to get there. The current reports are we're going to sign him on loan with the option to buy. So basically the same as last season, but we can actually buy him at the end of the year. And unlike Lodi, it actually probably would happen. Probably because of FFP, that it's not a permanent deal, and his injury. I do understand that. Just please, can we get the here we go fab? Please, just here we go. We need it. Ibrahim Sangare, we saw him against Forest for PSV, looked pretty damn good. Very good player. I'm excited if this was to happen. And is it realistic? Probably not. £30 million, the release clause. We're willing to pay it apparently. But is the player willing to come to the club even though it is Premier League football? Is he higher than us? I don't think we made the greatest impression to him by playing rather dull football against him the other day, but that's by the by. I called this rumour a bit niche last week, but it appears to be very much real. Ismaila Jacobs, Senegal left back as well as Monaco, played regular football in France the last few years. I'm not going to go into as much detail. I did mention him last week, but it is now being reported by very heavy sources. He'll probably cost around about 12 million. I think we should get this one done. Adrien Truffet. I'm a big fan of this one. He's also French. Capital of France is Paris. There we go. Rennes left back. We'll actually see him probably play against Forest very soon. 15 million to 17 million would be enough to get this one done. He looks a really good player. Only 21 years of age. Played for France, but he's played 113 times for Rennes. He's only 21. He is so good in tight situations, just by what I've seen of him, which again isn't a huge amount. He looks a really good little player to get hold of. West Ham want him as well. They've apparently bid 17 million for him. 2.2 tackles per game, 81% pass accuracy, 1.6 clearances per game. There's some very encouraging stats for him. I like the look of this one. Matt Turner, this appears to be an alternative to Dean Henderson, which is not what I wanted. I wanted him to be a backup to Dean Henderson, but unfortunately, yeah, I don't think that would happen. Go from Arsenal to Forest and he's still backup. It would probably cost around about 18 million because that's what Arsenal value him at. We want to bid around about 12 is what I've heard from multiple sources, whether they're realistic or not. I do try my best to pick the most reliable sources. I don't just pick completely and utterly insane transfer rumours that just aren't going to happen. Of course, he was Arsenal's second choice goalkeeper last year. Only really played in the Europa League and cup competitions and then for America in the World Cup. But other than that, not played actual league football, but when he did play, he did look like a good option. Personally, I don't want this one to happen. I want it to be Dean Henderson, and I think it will be Dean Henderson. But it's dragging on like mad, isn't it? Another goalkeeper is Petrovic from New England Revolution. The capital of Serbia is Belgrade. Yep. Now, Nantes in France are linked with him. Man United, not so long ago, were linked with this guy as well. Only 23 years of age, was voted as the second best goalkeeper in the MLS last year, was part of the MLS All-Stars team. Looks a really good player, honestly. Obviously, goalkeepers should measure him a bit differently, but I wouldn't be against it. I'd be lying if I said I've seen him play loads of football, but from what I have seen, wouldn't be against this one. I think it would probably be a backup option. And one more rumour in. Not too sure how I feel about it. Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester City. This appears to be an alternative to Sangare. Him and Tyler Adams, of course, a rumour that I mentioned about a month ago now. I'd be a big fan of Tyler Adams. He's got 20 million relegation release clause in his contract. Not played for Leeds since March because of injury. And probably because he's going to leave. Apparently Liverpool and Newcastle are currently interested in him. So I'd be for Adams, but as I mentioned, Ndidi's also linked. Leicester want about 20 million for him, so I think that's way too much to pay. If it's prime Ndidi, I wouldn't be against it at all, because he was fantastic for Leicester for most of his time there. But last season, he was one of the many players that dropped off for them, so yeah, I'm not quite as convinced as a result. He's only 26 though. I thought he was older than that, so he does have time to improve and get back that form, and maybe under Steve Cooper he could do that. So I'm not entirely against it, but it is, based on how he did last season, it does seem a downgrade to Sangare. Rumours out, we've got Rumour Freuler being linked with Juventus. I know Juve are a very, very big club, but they're not quite what they were, so it probably suits him. And I think any club in Italy would, because it doesn't work for him in the Premier League, as we can clearly see. So yeah, let him go. Right, just hasn't worked. Clearly a good player, but just doesn't suit Nottingham Forest. Will probably be a loan with the option to buy this one, so we wouldn't get too much money for him. Well, we wouldn't get any money for him right now, but maybe in the future. But yeah, it's probably best for him. Not sure how likely it is, but it is a rumour. Ethan Horvath played the last 2 pre-season games. Wasn't too sure about his distribution in general, but again, against Leeds, a bit shaky. But against PSV, I thought he did a lot better. He did probably keep the scoreline down because PSV were dominant in that one. So I personally wouldn't mind keeping Horvath around as a third choice goalkeeper, but I don't think he's going to want to play third choice. I think, with all fairness to him, I think he's going to want to try and get some football. There's no actual club in particular being linked with him. This is just a rumour that several championship clubs want him. And I think pretty much any club in the Championship would have a very good goalkeeper on their hands if they signed Ethan Horvath. An update on Brennan Johnson. Brentford bid 30 million for him, and for some reason they thought that bidding an extra 5 million would be enough to convince Forest. No, never ever would that have worked. We value him at about 50 million. So they need to do a lot more than that. And again, no disrespect to Brentford, but I just don't see it as like the right move for him. It's not a huge upgrade on playing for Forest. So personally for me, and I would be biased, I just don't think it makes any sense. Emmanuel Dennis, he's continuing to be linked with moves away, not played any pre-season games besides the first one against Notts County. He doesn't really fit the system at Forest. He hasn't consistently played games for us, but whenever he has played, hasn't done a great deal. Being linked with Leeds still, but particularly right now Atalanta, as a replacement for Haaland, the lad that's going to go to Man United for 70 odd million, which is mental stuff. We've actually got quite a few rumours out this week, 2 more that have actually come out today. I'm recording this. Steve Cook, obviously a promotion hero, really happy that he's got links to a club, to be honest, because he deserves to go and play some football. I'll be sad when he leaves because he's been a great servant to us. Wasn't really good enough in the Premier League, but the Championship, he was a key reason why we got promoted. In that back three, we had Warren McKenna, Figueiredo. We needed someone with a bit more experience and quality, and that's exactly what Cookie brought. Don't think we'll get too much money for him, but hopefully he gets a move because he deserves a move. And the last rumour, and this does appear to be quite close to happening, and he's not actually a Forest player anymore, but he did leave us this summer, Jack Holback. He's also being linked with QPR. Great move for him. QPR in a bit of a mess at the moment. They need some experience and quality to that side, and I think Holback, he could have made it at the top end of the Championship in my opinion. So bottom end Championship, which is where QPR currently are, probably shouldn't be that low in the Championship. Speaking of the Championship, I'll be doing my predictions later in the week, stay tuned for that. But Holback would be an excellent signing for QPR, so hopefully he gets that because he deserves to have a team this season. If you do enjoy these transfer roundups, then please continue to keep hitting the like button, subscribing to Rads if you're new. It goes a very long way. It means everything to see the number go up, because I know that you're enjoying my content. So thank you very much for that. Like I say, Championship predictions coming out later in the week. The hardest league in the world to predict. We're not in it, but it is still a fascinating league to see this season with some of the teams in it. So that'll be coming out, and yeah, hopefully by this time next week, some of these rumours will become transfers. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon everyone at the Reds.